Hello. How are you? Welcome back. Nice to have you all back. Things haven't got any better. I've had a 2-week hiatus, and I've hiated it because it's been bad. I feel like I've got to do this slightly quietly this week because my daughter's asleep upstairs, and it's hard to have time to do this. I've been busy with Spitting Image Live, which opened last night in Birmingham, and it did very well, which is exciting. I've been filming some other TV shows called Stand Up Sketch Show, as well as trying to write a new tour show. And always at the beginning of writing a new tour show is much filled nights of anxiety and days of finding it very hard to do. And on top of that, I'm trying to learn new Love Island impressions to feed all that out, as well as be the expert that I am in fantasy football. Welcome back to Who's Your Captain. Lovely to have you all here. I can only apologise for the little 2-week hiatus. Obviously, we had FA Cup, but I didn't produce any content. I'm sorry. No content for you. I'm so sorry. But things haven't got any better. I wish, like, my name's Luke Kempner on Twitter. Thank you very much. By the way, if you do like this crud, then do like and subscribe. It's a lovely family we have here. Good vibes. It's mainly me having a breakdown. But I think if I did change my name, because you've got like FPL bloke, FPL duckface, FPL cheeseboard, FPL pen lid. I've got a new name, FPL window cleaner. Like, I think my name would be FPL therapy. There probably already is an FPL therapy, isn't there? But I think mine would be FPL therapy, because I feel like that's what I need is FPL therapy. Once a week, just see a person and just go, and how are things this week? Well, I'll be honest with you, the week started okay, but then I brought in Solly March. He fucking missed 2 sitters. So I know it's a cathartic experience, a Schadenfreude experience for everyone to come on here and watch a man who's doing worse than you. So congratulations. Because I've continued to do that. So let's have a look at my team this week. So 74 points, which was okay, and it was a tiny red arrow. But when you're one, shall I see where I am? Let's see where I am. When you're 1.68 million in the world. And I think I went down like 100,000 places. I remember when you wanted to get in the top 100k. I go down 100,000 places. I'm like, oh well, what difference does it make? But I bought in one player. I sold Almiron, who did rubbish because his stats are bad, right? And I think his streak has gone. He's on a cold streak, right? Bought in Solly March. Solly March, right? He is smashing it. Points after points after points. All right? Yes, Matoma doing well. Everyone go, but Matoma, you knew Matoma was going to do well because I know Matoma got 10 points. What about Matoma? Matoma's brilliant. You should get Matoma. I know I should have got Matoma now, don't I? But I just thought, do you know what? All I ever do is get something wrong. So I thought, I'll just bring in Solly March, right? He's smashing it. Brighton are smashing it. They've got a plum fixture. I'll bring in Solly March. Brought in Solly March and he missed 2 sitters, right? And I'm watching it. I watched the highlights, and at one point, after Solly March missed a sitter, the commentator goes, everything he touches recently turns to gold until today, right? And I'll tell you why it is. It's because I've signed him. Mitrovic wasn't missing penalties until I signed him. Honestly, I'm like death. Have we got any sad... This is what happens, right? I turn up, right? They're having a great career. It's only Haaland that's untouchable. Rashford this week. If I triple captain Rashford, he's like, mate, I'm having such a great season. Can't believe it. Back in the United team. It's going great. I thought United, we're back. We're in the Champions League. Kempner turns up. Hello. And I touch him on the shoulder and he loses all football ability. That's what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't want to sign any Arsenal players. Even Ben White. Ben White played 45 minutes, got 0. That's my fault. Luckily, Arsenal are so good at the moment that they're managing to get beyond the spell. And it is a spell. Bought in Solly March. He got his first 2-pointer in weeks. And now they got a match against Bournemouth. Right, let's have a look. Not that one. Where's the fixtures? Where's the fixtures for this week? Right. Where? Hang on. Not that one. Where's the fixtures? Hang on. Game week. Where's the game week fixtures? I'll get the game week fixtures in a second. But like this week, right? We're gonna have a look at this later, right? Where are the fixtures? Oh, there it is. Sorry. It's good content, isn't it? Right, if we look at the fixtures this week, Brighton at home to Bournemouth. You're delighted, but now I've got Solly March. I'm not even delighted anymore because Matoma will probably do it. Solly March do nothing. I'm sorry, Solly. I feel like Solly's gone back into the dressing room and going, I don't really understand it, right? I was doing fine, and I went to kick the ball, and I just skied it over the bar. And all these Brighton mates, like De Zerbi's going, but do play so well. Recently, I do love everything you do. Everything you do, it has the goal. And then what happened? What happened? I don't know, Gaffer. I don't know, Gaffer. I'll tell you what's happened. Kempner signed you. Mitrovic kicked, didn't just miss a penalty, missed the ball a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, all's well. So I signed March. Everything else I'm sort of happy with, right? Now let's crack on, okay? Because this week, we're going to flash this up here. Now, everyone follows Ben Crellin, but if you don't, what are you doing? Get onto Ben Crellin. He's done a new one of his tables. And what's good about this, right? What's good is it's very clear for the next 4 game weeks, right? So this week we got the double game week. We got Man United and Leeds have got 2 games, right? So you always want to get your couple of double game week fixtures. We all want to get the double game week, boys. Come on, lads, into the squad. Get yourselves. You're in the starting lineup. Don't worry about it. Get your shooting boots on. Happy days, right? 23 Arsenal and City. Double game week, right? So you're looking at your Arsenal and your City boys going, oh, in you come. United lads, you did well the last week, but off you trot. City boys, you're in, right? And then 24, normal game, but then 25, Man United not playing, Brighton not playing, Newcastle not playing, Brentford not playing. So this is key when you're thinking about who to bring in. You'd probably think, don't bring in a Brighton player, but old Kempner did that last week. But that's all right. That's all right. We can deal with that. But Man United blank as well, so it's knowing that, okay, but also knowing that if you're going to bring in a Man United player, remember that it's Man City that got the double game week next week. But Man United have got Leeds in the 23, Leeds 22, Leeds 23. There's going to be goals in that. Always big rivalry, lots of goals. So the really where I'm looking at, right, if you look at my team, right, let's have a look at my team here. Let's get rid of Ben Crellin. Not entirely. He's good guy. But right, if you look at my team here, that's not what I was looking for. Anyway, if you look at my team here, right, I've got 1 transfer. Now, I can start White. That's fine. I wouldn't start Ake. I'd start Shaw. I've got Shaw on my bench, right? But I've got Salah, who I can move to Bruno very easily. But I've not got KDB. And I'm going to want KDB or Mahrez for the double game week, aren't I, lads and lasses? But I'm also going to want another Arsenal player, probably Nketiah. But do I want Gnonto, the lad from Italy who plays for Leeds? 2 games, cheap up front. So, let's look at the fixtures coming up this week. Right? Now, if you look here, hang on. If you look at the fixtures coming up here, right? Leeds away to Nottingham Forest, away to Man United. Gnonto has been playing 90 minutes in the games. Is it worth bringing him in? Because even if he does nothing for 2 games, he's still going to get you 4 points. So it's a -4 and he's cheap. He can sit on your bench, and he doesn't blank in game week 25. Right? Let's check what I'm saying is true. You see, right? He doesn't blank, so you can play him. So he's a good lad to have. Right? Now, I think you can probably get away without any Leeds players. The only one I'll be looking at is Gnonto because of his price. He can sit on the bench, or you can play him. And especially if you're looking at getting into game week 25, going forward, because you don't want to get there and have 3 Man United, 3 Brighton, 3 Newcastle. Most people have got 2 Newcastle. I got rid of Almiron, right? But most people have got double Newcastle defence, right? They got a blank. Okay, then Brighton and Hove Albion, you might have 1 or 2. You might have bought Mitoma if you're not an idiot like me. Man United, you're going to have 3 because you want 3 this week. So just be a little bit careful. But with Leeds, it could be fine because you can bring him in and he's going to play in 25. Right? Now, let's look at Rashford this week, okay? Because these are the predicted points for this week. Now, people are talking about using their triple captain this week. I like it. I like it a lot. I've had 3 people message me going, shall I use my triple captain this week? Now, I think it's very hard to argue not to use it. Right? If you look at Rashford, he's predicted to get 11.2 points. This is from Fantasy Football Fix, by the way. I got this graphic, brilliant website. Check them out. Now, 11.2 points. Triple captain that's 33.6 points. Fernandes, I think, is also looking like a surefire person to bring in at 9.9. If you've got KDB, I think you need to do the KDB to Bruno back to KDB for the week after, or Bruno back to Mahrez. See what happens. You know, we don't know. Next week there could be players injured. Who knows? But then the week after, Haaland is going to have Aston Villa at home and Arsenal away. Do you save your triple captain for that? Haaland scores a hat-trick nearly every home game. And then the Arsenal game, I feel like it might be tight. But there's part of me as an Arsenal fan that just thinks, I could just save it. And then if Haaland scores against Arsenal, then I can just go, well, at least there's my triple captain scored. I know that's not a good way to play FPL, but when you're depressed and 1.6 million in the world, sometimes you think stuff like that. I think I'll go Rashford triple captain this week, though, guys, because he's home to Palace, home to Leeds. He came on last night, got 2 assists. He's unbelievable at the moment. I was at the Arsenal Man United game. He is ferocious at the moment. He's in the form of his life. I just think you have to triple captain him. I think it's... The more I talk about it, the more I just don't see any other way around it. And I think you need to try and get Bruno in. Now, if you can't get to Bruno, Casemiro, he's got a couple of goals in the FA Cup. I don't think that's going to sustain. Anthony, I wouldn't fancy. De Gea, if you want to move your keeper, they have got really high chance of a clean sheet over the... I think they're certainly going to get a clean sheet against Palace. Anyone else, you're looking at Meslier or Rodrigo, 7.2, 7 points, but I wouldn't be looking at those guys. I think most people are going to have Shaw, most people are going to have Rashford. I think if you're looking at one other, I don't really fancy any of them apart from Bruno or De Gea. But I just think, do you want double Man United defence going forward? Probably not. I don't think they'll get a clean sheet against Leeds, but then that makes me think, do you bring in Gnonto? Hard to say, isn't it? Hard to say. So that's my theory on Rashford, is that we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but I think we need Rashford as your triple captain and see what happens. But I'm telling you, everyone, I'm 99% going to do Rashford triple captain. So that probably means he will be rubbish, and that's a warning to you. Okay, so let's look at the fixtures going forward, right? Here's my predictions of these fixtures, okay? Everton at home to Arsenal. Now, I think Everton, look, there is every chance this could be 5-0 to Arsenal. I don't think Everton will win. I don't even think Everton will score. But I do think Sean Dyche, first match, I think he could keep it tight. I think this could be 0-0, 0-1. So I'm going to go for Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Aston Villa versus Leicester. All right. Who cares? Because, I mean, are you going to play Ward? Maybe you'll play Ward over Kepa, because the first fixture that isn't on this, which is handy, isn't it? The first fixture is Chelsea versus Fulham. I think you're probably going to play Kepa. I'm going to play Kepa over Ward. I just think always play Kepa. Even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, he's a very good keeper. All right, there's more chance of him getting saves. I think if Leicester were at home to Bournemouth or home to Southampton, maybe. I think even home to Liverpool at the moment, but I would say no one cares. Brentford, Southampton. Now, Brentford playing very well. I think they'll keep a clean sheet in this. I think they'll win. I think Brentford will win 2-3. All right, and if you've got Ivan Toney, you're laughing. I wish I'd got Ivan Toney. Brighton versus Bournemouth. I think this is a heavy win for Brighton with Solly March being benched. So, again, a 3-0 for Brighton. Okay, maybe 3-1. They don't seem to be great in defence. Estupinian is a good Brighton defender if you're interested. Man United, Crystal Palace. Now, I think United are going to run riot here. Now, one thing I will say on United, right, is they've lost Eriksen. Now, it didn't matter last night, but they were playing Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest were already 3-0 down from the first leg. But they've lost Eriksen. Now, does that make a difference? Does that mean Bruno goes forward? Does that mean Bruno is going to be on more set pieces? Because Eriksen is on a lot of set pieces. Does that limit the attacking output from Man United? It could do. We don't know. What do you know? You don't know anything. Are you a United fan? Yeah, I am. And I'm telling you, it don't matter because we're going to win league. I think it's worth thinking about. But I think United will win. What I'd like to see is Sambi Lokonga play for Crystal Palace because he's an Arsenal player. Wolves versus Liverpool. What is going on at Liverpool? I mean, you wouldn't even predict them to win this, would you? That's why I think I've got to sell Salah. Because there is part of me that could do... I could sort of go like and keep Salah ready for De Bruyne. I'm selling Salah. I'm fed up with that geezer. Right. Goodbye, Mo Salah. Newcastle, West Ham. Obviously a Newcastle clean sheet. Although West Ham did come back into it, Bowen, with a couple of goals in the last game week. You just can't see Newcastle conceding a goal ever. But I don't fancy any of those attacking players. So, at home, 5:30, it's going to be dark under the lights. Those St James's lads go, come on, we're doing well. We're going to get the Champions League. We'll keep playing like we are. We're going to get Champions League and then we're going to buy the whole flipping baby. I reckon Newcastle are winning this 2-0. Nottingham Forest Leeds. I like the look of Forest. I think they'll get a sneaky win here. Maybe a 2-1. Gnonto, though, man. I do think there's going to be goals in Man United Leeds and goals in Nottingham Forest Leeds. I think Leeds will score in both of these games. So, is Gnonto your boy? Who knows? Who knows? Spurs Man City. Well, as an Arsenal fan, I'm hoping Spurs can win. Conte's got this abdominal problem, so Conte's is in hospital. I don't know if he's back from hospital, but him not being on the sidelines, does that hinder Tottenham? Probably. You've got to think City are going to win this. My instinct says Man City 2-0. So why am I keeping Kane? Hope, I suppose. Man United Leeds. I think this will be a 3-2. So I would go with Man United 3, Leeds 2. So I just think there's goals for United in both those games. It's got to be Rashford triple captain, isn't it? The reason I'm doing this, right, is because I know I don't want to go down the obvious route with triple, because I'm 1.6 million. If any of you are watching who are in that sort of position where you're really low and you're trying to catch up with your mates, it's hard because you're just like, I don't want to, I'll rather save it. But I just think like it's the most obvious thing to do. And maybe some people won't. Maybe there's 1.6 million players. Not all of them are going to go, oh yeah, I'll use my triple captain that week, because they're not as clued up as us. But I imagine a lot of people will. I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Oh, do you know, a lot of it just feels sad to lose your triple captain, doesn't it? So that's my predictions. Guys, that's where we're at. Okay? Listen, the luck has got to turn at some point. I could easily get in Nketiah this week. And Arsenal with their double game week next week, I do think you're going to need Nketiah. He's a must. Okay, I think you need Nketiah. I think you need one or two of Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard over the Arsenal defence. But I've got White already. But you definitely need Nketiah. The geezer's on fire. He really is. He's lethal. And he knows that Jesus is back in training 3 or 4 weeks away. He's going to want to keep his place. Obviously. So I really do think you're going to need Nketiah. And if you're going to get Nketiah, why not get him in the week that he's going to be playing Everton? But if Lampard was still there, I would get Nketiah for a -4 this week. I would. But because Sean Dyche, I've just got this feeling it's going to be a tight game. Sean Dyche's going to go in there and say, right, we're not going to let them score today. If they don't score, that's a victory for me. That's a victory. Okay, good luck, lads. Anyone got any cough mixture? So that's my thoughts. I just think the only transfers you want to be looking at this week is getting your United 3, maybe Gnonto. Gnonto B or Gnonto B. It doesn't work. Oh. Listen, we're going to have a good week. It's going to be good. I hope you'll get some green arrows. I've not even shown you the league this week, so I'm depressed about it. If you want to join the league, there you go. If you want to like and subscribe, please do. If you want to see different types of things on the channel, whack it in the comments. Lots of love. Let's stick the music on. Remember? Subscribe, yeah? Bye.